Marvel Ultimate Big Brother, My Life as Spider-Man's Secret Weapon. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 41. Hear the words of Gui. Fang Bing glanced at the Supreme Mage with a strange look. He nodded silently, summoning the tray and starting to quickly manufacture all kinds of snacks. Soon, a whole bunch of snacks are made. Is it enough? Fang Bing asked. Gui nodded expressionlessly. Thank you. Put away your snack with a wave of your hand. A portal opened with his finger, as if there was an emergency. Got in and left. The big guy deserves to be the big guy. From putting away the snacks to the portal disappearing, it only took a second for Gui, left in place with his mouth open, just about to ask if I can let Sky. Fang Bing, who went to Karmatage to study magic. If you know it, you should ask questions first and then give her snacks. Fang Bing sighed. He from the words of the Ancient One. A cruel truth has been discovered. This Gui is not a serious person. Selfish freeloaders, as a supreme mage, but scum who loves to eat alone. Originally, Fang Bing had been wondering, why did I give Gui so many snacks more than 2 months ago? Until now, he has not received any of the abilities of Karmatage Master. To this day, but he listened to Gui. The mages of Karmatage love to eat their own snacks. I love to eat a ghost. I'm afraid they haven't even seen a melon seed of their own. And your supreme mage's luck is too bad. Wrapped all the snacks. I didn't even pull out another ability. Next to Sky, seeing that Gui left directly, but there was no disappointment in my heart. On the contrary, it is inexplicably somewhat reassuring. She wants to be stronger, can protect herself and protect your family. No more dragging down Fang Bing, but he never thought of leaving Fang Bing's side. What magic to learn alone? Before Fang Bing told her, he recommended her to learn magic from magicians. She only thought that Fang Bing was teasing her. I haven't taken it seriously. And when the ancient mage really appeared just now, she understood from the apprehension in her heart. What you really think in your heart. So at this moment, I saw Furuchi leave. Chow Fang Bing, who was just curious, asked, why is this magician in such a hurry to leave? People are supreme mages, and they must be very busy to protect the earth. The other side, Karmatage. Furuchi walked out of the portal, returned to your quiet room, patted his chest, exhaled. There is a feeling of being a thief in my heart. Although she thought that it was impossible for Fang Bing to know about her eating alone, but when she found out, Fang Bing listened to the lie she made up. The strange look in her eyes. Just realized, although I don't know why, but I may have shown my stuffing, so I hurriedly put away my snacks and left. I'm afraid I'll stay for a long time, was debunked by Fang Bing. That's true. Where's the face of this supreme mage himself? How embarrassing it will be in the future. In the name of the other mages of Karmatage, go to him for a snack? In his heart, he praised his wit, picked up a bag of melon seeds and smashed it leisurely. Fang Bing and the three finished their barbecue. It's also time to separate. Fang Bing directly opened a portal for Team America. A direct arrival to the Sky Carrier. Open and Nick. The portal around Fury, and the ticket booked by Fang Bing and Sky is today. I'll be on the plane later. As for why, don't just open the portal and go back. Because there is only an entry record, there is no exit record. Will be directly blacklisted by Iceland as a black household. Don't think about coming here through formal channels in the future. Fang Bing plans to bring Aunt May and little Peter to play in the future. There is no hurry. I chose to fly back slowly. Arrived at the airport. After customs clearance, the two were waiting to board the plane. The mechanical sound of the system in Fang Bing's mind sounded unexpectedly. Congratulations on obtaining meditation method LV10. Fang Bing was refreshed. Immediately checked the system record. Ooh, it turned out to be obtained from Gui. Fang Bing suddenly felt extremely sorry in his heart. I feel that I have wronged a good person. The supreme mage of the people is well-intentioned. She must be afraid that the weak chicken mages of Karmatage have too low taste, spoiled their own food. That's why I tasted it alone. It must be so. After Fang Bing re-established a glorious image for the supreme mage in his heart. Start looking at this full-level ability you got from the ancient big guy. Meditation method LV10. You are fully proficient in all the essentials of meditation, and insisting on meditation can improve mental power and magic energy. After understanding what meditation is, Fang Bing couldn't help but be overjoyed. In short, I just got this meditation myself. It is the foundation of Karmatage Master's practice of spells. People with magical talents. After entering Karmatage, the first thing to do is to learn meditation. Meditation is the basis for all spells. It can boost the magical energy in the body. It can also improve your own mental power. The strength of the magic energy in the body determines the strength of the mage's spell release. Spiritual power determines the mage's control over spells. For example, portals. People with weak mental strength, the release may take up to 2 seconds. And people with strong mental power can be instantaneous. Fang Bing would only have one portal before. There are no other spells. There is also no spell energy in the body. Now I get the ability to meditate. You can cultivate spell energy by yourself and improve your spiritual power. This means, from then on, he could embark on the path of a serious mage. In the future, even if you can't draw the right spell again, there is also a separate from the system. The same way to keep getting stronger. All roads lead to Rome. Who would dislike their own means? What's more, this meditation method was drawn. It also solves another of his current problems. That is, as long as Sky has a talent for spells, then you can really start teaching her magic. Episode 42. On the space carrier, Nick. Fury is in the bathroom. Suddenly, an orange-yellow portal appeared beside him. Frightened, peed on your pants. Turn your head, look at the American team who just walked out of the portal. What fac? Fang Bing sent you over? Team America grinned, a mouthful of alcohol. Yes, Fang Bing is a good person, not only invited me to drink, but also changed my shield again. But that's not what Nick Fury cares about most. What he cares about is, Fang Bing could actually open the portal directly to him, and directly drove to the space carrier located at an altitude of 10,000 meters? Wouldn't that mean the whole shield came to him whenever he wanted? Walk if you want. Come to think of this, he couldn't help but rejoice. Previously his own wise decision. Fortunately, he didn't offend Fang Bing. Otherwise, it's trouble. Nick Fury's expression became serious. I began to ask carefully about the previous experience of the American team. After listening, when he saw Team America's new shield, I couldn't help but be shocked. It turned out to be vibranium, and more material than the US team's previous shield. Previously, after learning that Fang Bing could not change back into a Kuan fighter, he didn't think about it at all. Fang Bing can conjure up a vibranium shield that is rarer than the Kuan fighter, but now the shield of the American team let him know that he underestimated Fang Bing's ability. I also realized my omissions. If there is Fang Bing's help, a large amount of vibranium can be obtained. Wouldn't it be possible to study vibranium technology? Rapid increase in the power of shield? Come to think of this, he couldn't wait any longer. Picked up the communicator and dialed Fang Bing's phone. For this reason, he was mentally prepared to meet any of Fang Bing's conditions. But he was soon disappointed, because Fang Bing's phone couldn't get through. Always shut down. Only after using S.H.I.E.L.D.'s intelligence system to find out. Now Fang Bing is still on the flight back to New York. The phone has no signal. Until a few hours later, when Fang Bing and Sky arrived in New York. Nick Fury finally dialed Fang Bing's mobile phone. You want to get a lot of vibranium? Conditions open with me? Fang Bing tugged at the corners of his mouth. Know that the business is coming to the door. Yes, for every 10 cubic meters of vibranium, exchange for one thing. Fang Bing knew. There are quite a few good things in S.H.I.E.L.D. that, since its establishment in World War II, I don't know how many strange objects have been collected for more than half a century. There is no cost to convert vibranium yourself anyway. Used to exchange useful things. Not at a loss. Nick Fury listened to the play. 10 cubic meters of vibranium is already quite a lot. You know, S.H.I.E.L.D. has been saving for most of the century. Current vibranium reserves. There is only 1 cubic or so left. What do you want? 70 years ago, Peggy. Katie got an obelisk from the Red Skull, right? Nick Fury listened. My heart suddenly trembled. Obelisk? That thing is dangerous. How did Fang Bing know about this? Peggy. Katie was the girlfriend of Team America. He is also one of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D. When Katie wiped out Hydra. After getting the obelisk treasured by Hydra, just seal it. And its mothballed location. It is top secret information that can only be learned by the highest authority. Originally Nick Fury dared to agree to Fang Bing's conditions. It was impossible for Fang Bing to know what he had in his hands. I thought he was asking for some valuables at most, but I didn't expect it. The other party actually came up and came out of Wong fried. Ask yourself for an obelisk of this kind. An alien threat that must not be handed over. That's right. Although he never knew the role of the obelisk for so many years. I just know who touches that thing and who dies. But after some means of testing, the materials that make up the obelisk have long been discovered. Not at all earthly. This means, this dangerous item, it's an alien threat. Although I don't know, how did you know of its existence? But this item is too dangerous to give to you. Let's change it, Nick Fury said seriously. Then I want Hodward. Stark fished out of the Arctic Sea, a small blue cube. When the bald chief heard this, his face changed drastically. Waterfac. Stop thinking about it. No way. Even if I were given vibranium the size of a Himalaya, it would be impossible. Don't blame Nick Fury reacted so much, because as soon as he heard Fang Bing's description, I knew that what Fang Bing wanted was the cosmic cube. Although the bald director still does not know that the cosmic cube is one of the 6 gems of the universe, the space gem, but he understands how powerful the cosmic cube is. In World War II, Hydra used it to create energy weapons. The Red Skull was destroyed by it. Later, it was used by the Kree to develop the light engine, directly created Nick Fury's dream love. People, that one can fly into the sky. Captain Marvel, who burst the entire Kree space fleet with empty hands. In Nick Fury's heart, if the importance of the alien obelisk is 5, the importance of the cosmic cube is 100. This thing can be said to be the biggest secret of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hearing that the bald chief refused again, Fang Bing pouted. This can't work, that can't work. Then what else to trade? Goodbye. After speaking, he hung up the phone directly. Then just wait for Nick Fury called again, because he knows, Nick Fury, the shield director. It is impossible to give up the temptation to get a large amount of vibranium at once. Sure enough, 2 minutes passed. Nick. Fury called again. How's it going? Can you give me the cosmic cube? I can give you vibranium enough to sink the space carrier, Fang Bing said in seductive words. No, the cosmic cube will never be. Nick. Fury, although very hungry, still firmly refused, but the obelisk can be considered again. Episode 43. I can give you the obelisk, but first you have to tell me, what are you going to do with it? After some haggling, Nick. Fury finally let go, but it is still required to know what Fang Bing is doing with this alien item. As director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he needs vibranium very much, though, but his priority is to keep ordinary people safe. So even if you want to exchange the obelisk to Fang Bing, he also had to figure it out in advance. Will this thing threaten humans in Fang Bing's hands? Fang Bing was helpless. If it weren't for the quick access to Sky's abilities that originally belonged to her, he didn't bother to fight with this one-eyed bastard here. But only patience. Pick the part that can be said. Probably told Nick Fury, the origin of the obelisk, and what it does. What? Are you saying this thing is from the Kree? Can it also activate superpowers in the human body? Nick. Fury was shocked. Immediately the heart warmed up. I suddenly thought of the previous experiment of using serum to make super soldiers. Give the agents an obelisk to activate. His own Avengers are still worried about the lack of manpower? Is there something wrong with your ears? I have said that only the Inhumans can, not the Inhumans, who use the obelisk, will definitely die. Fang Bing listened to Nick Fury's tone. Just know what he wants to do. Once again, the limitations of the obelisk were emphasized, completely shattering Nick Fury's fantasies. Although pure Terrigon fog, there is no harm to ordinary humans. It only activates superpowers in the Inhumans. But the inside of the obelisk is not pure Terrigon fog. It was also mixed with other substances by the Kree. Ordinary people touch a hint. It's dead. Only people with alien genes. In order to obtain superpowers unharmed. And the alien metal outside the obelisk, it also contains substances that are also harmful to humans. So ordinary people cannot touch the obelisk. Otherwise, the whole body will be petrified. And there are very few people in the world with alien genes. Unless Nick Fury can get pure Terrigon mist. It also dares to use it on a large area for humans. Otherwise, he won't get what he wants. So where can I find the Inhumans? Steve said he met another magician at your place. Can you introduce me? You have too many questions, and if you want to know other answers, then you will have to charge an additional consultation fee. Fang Bing interrupted Nick Fury's chatter, unceremoniously rejected his other questions, but the deal was eventually done. In Fang Bing, I went to the space carrier. Will Nick Fury prepared 10 cubic bricks after turning into vibranium. He managed to get the box containing the obelisk. Then he dropped the bald bureau chief, who was still looking questioning and trying to find out the information, left S.H.I.E.L.D. and went home. What is this? Sky asked curiously as she looked at the obelisk in the box. Fang Bing smiled mysteriously. You pick it up. Sky obediently reached out and held it. The obelisk was originally made of silver-white metal. Instantly, mysterious glowing patterns began to appear on the surface. Wow, what is this? An inductive LED light? Sky thought it was funny to play with. It's something that gives you superpowers. Fang Bing said with a smile. But not yet, we still need to go to a place. Fang Bing didn't explain it to Sky in too much detail, because that would involve her background. Just tell her, wait at home after 2 days of rest. Sky needed to go with him to Old San Juan. The outside of this obelisk is a layer of harmful metal, only to the temple of the Kree people under the old city of San Juan. Only then can you pass through the facilities there. Release the Terrigon fog inside the metal. Although Fang Bing has the ability to convert matter, just touching the obelisk can convert its external metal into a harmless substance. But he didn't dare to take the risk, because he didn't know if he would touch the obelisk the moment. It was petrified into a statue. Even with a super physique, there should be no big problem. But now there are obviously other ways to solve it safely. Why take that risk? Oh. This way. Sky can't hear it yet. Lost spirit again. Just flown back from Iceland. Boats and carts. She was going to catch up on some sleep. He conveniently shoved the obelisk back into Fang Bing's hand. Groove. Fang Bing didn't guard against her at all. Without noticing, Sky shoved this thing into his hand before reacting. The hand shook and threw it out. You want to kill me? Fang Bing shouted angrily at Sky, who looked innocent. In the palm that found just touched the obelisk, after no sign of petrification, only to breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, my brother's body is strong enough. Huh? Wrong. Fang Bing suddenly vaguely remembered. Just when the obelisk was thrown out, that thing seems to be glowing? Groove? No way? He directed Sky to pick up the obelisk on the ground, put it back on the table. Fang Bing began to try carefully. He touched an obelisk with his finger first, finding out that he was really okay, just grasped it. Sure enough, the obelisk also instantly lit up with glowing patterns. Fang Bing was shocked. He knows what that means. This explains. Fang Bing. There are also alien genes in the body. You can also be inspired by Terrigen mist to activate superpowers. Groove. It was a pleasant surprise. Fang Bing didn't expect it at all, because before when reading Sky's list of capabilities, he could see that Sky had that unactivated shockwave power. So when he is in his own system interface, didn't see any unactivated superpowers. I have long subconsciously thought that I am not a stranger. Now think about it. It's completely this dog system lazy. I don't show my own ability. The system panel shows only the abilities you have extracted from others. Episode 44. Knowing that he is also a stranger. You can also activate your own abilities by the Tyrogen Mist. Fang Bing couldn't calm down. He pulled Sky, who was ready to go back to sleep, with obelisks, cut open the portal with one hand, left home. In the blink of an eye, I came to the barren mountain I had been to before. I'm afraid that when the two of them awaken their powers, what abnormal movement will be caused. Although Aunt May and little Peter took the holiday, they had not returned from going out to play 2 days ago. But Fang Bing still doesn't know what his powers are. In case of awakening some self-detonation ability, come up and blow up the house, that's the trouble. When Fang Bing found out that he was also an alien, I knew I didn't have to go underground to San Juan to look for the Temple of the Krees. Since the obelisk can't hurt himself, his material transformation ability can directly destroy the metal outside the obelisk. Let the tarragon fog inside it emanate. What are we doing here? Sky asked with a confused look. I thought of a way to get you superpowers now. Really? But you just said. Fang Bing gave her a blank look. Pull her to a boulder, take out the obelisk and place it on the stone. Reach out and activate the ability to convert substances. But a trace of hesitation suddenly flashed in his heart. I don't know if I should activate the powers with Sky. Because of the powers of the Inhumans, sometimes it's not a gift, it could also be a curse. Inhuman King on the Moon, Black Bolt. If you open your mouth and make a sound, you can destroy a city. But the price is, he couldn't speak properly. When I was a child, I only argued with my parents in anger. Will be their own biological parents. That is, the previous Inhuman King and Queen. The blast turned into a blood mist. Jiaying's loyal paparazzi, Gordon. Ability to teleport through space infinitely. But the price is to lose both eyes forever. Fang Bing hesitated. What if he also acquired a flawed ability himself? Is it worth the risk? But soon, he was relieved. Since there is an opportunity to become stronger, why hesitate? Inhuman awakening ability. Most of them have few side effects. He didn't believe he was so lucky. After making up your mind, he directly launched the material transformation. The outer metal of the obelisk was turned into a mud embryo. Slap down, laugh at. A transparent mist of gas is centered on the boulder, rushing in all directions. When Tyrogen's fog touched the two, a layer of stone shell began to spread throughout the two of them. Sky didn't know what was going on. He looked at Fang Bing in horror. I want to ask him for help. Don't be afraid. Fang Bing smiled and held her hand. Soon Sky and Fang Bing were turned into two statues. A few minutes later, the stone shell that wrapped around the two began to crumble and peel. The two end the Inhuman's superpower awakening process. The whole mountain began to tremble. The rocks crumbled. The trees swayed. It's like an earthquake. Fang Bing quickly stepped forward and hugged Sky. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Calm down. This is what you are capable of. Sky slowly came back to her senses. Feel the solid chest that surrounds you. A renewed sense of security. The shaking of the mountains below his feet stopped. What's wrong with me? Sky asked softly in Fang Bing's arms. Fang Bing rubbed her head. Your ability is to create shock waves. And when you can't control your ability will also get out of control with your emotions, which is why it causes earthquakes. Don't be afraid, with me by your side. Baby Sky is so smart, he will definitely be able to control this ability quickly. Sky heard Fang Bing's name, shyly buried his head in Fang Bing's arms, but his hands were held tighter. Fang Bing comforted Sky, but I was a little surprised, because he still doesn't know what powers he has awakened. As soon as Sky came out of the stone shell, it caused an earthquake. He didn't show anything out of the ordinary. Didn't he awaken his powers? That's impossible. It must have awakened. Otherwise, you can't come out of the stone shell yourself. Fang Bing asked Sky to slowly practice his powers in the clearing. He guarded beside him. By the way, he began to constantly test what kind of ability he had awakened. Until an hour later, Sky was tired of practicing. A look of excitement ran to him. I want to share my superpower practice experience with him. Fang Bing came from an injured rabbit. Got the answer. It turns out that their newly acquired superpowers are healing. To test the ability, he caught a black bear in the mountains, cut his hind legs with a dagger, turned into a branch, stay away from 3 meters, launched the capabilities, but it didn't work at all, until within 1 meter of the wound. Only then did I feel a special energy in my hand transmitting to the wound. I saw that the wound on the leg of the black dog bear began to heal rapidly. The healing effect is very powerful, but something that Fang Bing didn't expect appeared. This one was originally cut because its hind leg was cut. The bear howling in pain all the time. Start by being treated. Suddenly put away the cry of pain. The bear's face turned out to be an inexplicable look. As if stimulated by something, his whole body convulsed, until Fang Bing saw that some parts of it were not normal. Only then did I realize that my superpower seemed a little unorthodox. While giving treatment to others, there seemed to be some special side effects. quickly opened the portal and kicked the male dog bear in. Sky was around. Fang Bing didn't really want her to see the appearance of the dog bear, but he's still a little unsure whether this healing ability works for humans. This particular side effect, will it also work for people? I looked at the girl who was obediently staying on the side. Sky, did you get hurt somewhere? Episode 45. Fang Bing still failed to heal Sky in the end, because Sky was directly frightened away by his evil smile. For experiments, he had to transform into a vibranium dagger with a broken hair, pierced his arm with all his strength. I used my healing power against myself. Yes, an extremely refreshing feeling involuntarily burst out. Let the defenseless Fang Bing shout out. Frightened, he immediately covered his mouth, for fear that Sky would hear something misunderstood. What a shameful ability. In my previous life, I must have this ability. What other films to watch? If you want to be cool, just take a few shots to yourself. I looked at the arm that had recovered as before. Fang Bing didn't know how to evaluate this ability. Strong is very strong. Healing power is a very rare and powerful ability. The entire Marvel universe doesn't have many people either. Especially, it can also treat others. More rare. Fang Bing knew that he could do this. Only the female captain of the Eternal 10-Man Squad on Earth, Ajak. But Ajak's healing abilities did not have the particular side effects of its own. Fang Bing didn't know how it was compared to Ajak, who was more capable, but he knew. Your own abilities must be even more tumultuous. Fang Bing continued the test, although the wound has healed, but he still shot himself again. Sure enough, that side effect cannot be triggered without a wound. Otherwise, Fang Bing felt that he was invincible. No matter who you fight with. When we met, we kept treating him. When he was so cool that he convulsed, he chopped it again. It's beautiful to think about. Although it only works on the injured person, but it's also powerful. If it doesn't hurt, we can cause him an injury. It's just that Fang Bing feels that this is a mouthful of poisoned milk. What should I do if I am injured in battle? Take a bite of your own milk, and then hung up your own milk? Fang Bing thought for a long time and didn't come up with a solution. Maybe you can only scratch yourself a few times if you are fine. Experience this feeling more. Strengthen your tolerance in advance. It seems that it is not enough to enhance yourself. Sky has superpowers and can't use it for the rest of his life, right? If you participate in the battle, you will inevitably get hurt, right? If you are injured, you have to treat her, right? It seems that she will have to improve her tolerance in advance. After pondering your own abilities, Fang Bing began to seriously think of ways to help Sky take control of her shockwave powers as soon as possible. He set up a tent in the woods. Be prepared to stay here until Sky has full control over her abilities. Otherwise, go back now. Sky was careless, caused an earthquake in the urban area. Then the matter is a big deal. Even if it is not discovered, she has always been kind, and she will also feel very guilty. The more you use them, the more proficient they become. So as long as Sky keeps practicing, he can slowly become proficient. But Fang Bing was wondering if there was a way improve this efficiency, or to increase the strength of Inhuman's superpowers. Then he thought. He had just obtained meditation from Gui, since meditation can definitely improve magical energy and spiritual power. Among them, spiritual power can increase the release speed and control effect of spells. That after improving mental power through meditation, can it work on myself and Sky's powers? Come to think of it, he began his first meditation after receiving the meditation method. Because his meditation method was definitely obtained directly from Gui, so it's directly the strongest grade. Fang Bing quickly entered a meditative state. He felt his mind go into a state of emptiness. It was as if it was beginning to be in the vastness of the universe. Begin to slowly draw some kind of energy from the universe. With his meditation, he felt that his soul had become stronger a little. Somewhere in the body, there is also a touch of special energy. An hour later, he woke up on his own initiative. Comfortable. Fang Bing only had this one feeling for meditation. The process of meditation, that feeling of letting go, is so comfortable. Let him not be willing to leave that state. Finally, I realized that it was getting dark. It stopped on its own. Sure enough, he is gifted with magic. This was Fang Bing's second thought after stopping meditating. Otherwise, it is also impossible for him to enter a meditative state. Then, he also found, this ancient meditation method is determined. Magical energy absorbed during meditation, it's cosmic energy, and the strength of one's own material transformation ability also depends on this cosmic energy. He immediately tried the ability to switch substances. Sure enough, this ability has become a little stronger. Although the increase is almost imperceptible, it is only equivalent to a drop in the bucket. But Fang Bing knew, this is because I have just practiced. As long as he keeps at it, there will be no upper limit to this process of becoming stronger. He will eventually be able to be like Circe of the Eternals, reach the level of killing the gods. It's a capability with almost no ceiling, and meditation enhances supernatural energy, because Fang Bing's own powers are too special, so he didn't have time to test. But there was a ready-made experimental subject next to it. Sky, come here. Crouching on the opposite side of Fang Bing, Sky had waited until dark. It was found that Fang Bing had not been normal today, not making strange noises, it's just doing some weird movements. At this time, seeing Fang Bing finally paid attention to her, I couldn't help but ask, Fang Bing, you were also wrapped in a stone shell with me just now. what ability did you get? Sky's words hit the nail on the nail point. Fang Bing, who asked, was a little caught off guard. But think about going back and giving her special training to improve her tolerance. So I told her the truth. What I got is the ability to heal, but there are some harmless side effects. For this side effect, I will give you special training in the future, and you will know by then. In order not to make Sky suspicious, so that when it came to suddenly too stimulated, Fang Bing also informed Sky in advance that he had been vaccinated. Sure enough, Sky didn't react when he heard this, just snorted. Come, haven't you always wanted to learn magic? Now it's time to teach you. Episode 46. Well, I can create earthquakes. Isn't that magic? Sky apparently didn't tell the difference between magic and superpowers, thinking that the shockwave power he had just obtained was magic. What you have now is a kind of shockwave energy, which is not magic. It can only be regarded as a superpower, but when you master it, it is no worse than magic. You can even fly. Fang Bing threw out a sentence that made Sky jump 3 feet high excitedly. He wasn't lying to Sky. Sky's shockwave power. After proficiency, it is indeed possible to release shock waves in the opposite direction, to propel her into the air, even pushing the air, to keep flying. But there is also a problem with it. Sky's body was too weak. Reaction force when releasing a shock wave. It will also act on her, hurt her bones. So if you want Sky to exert the power to destroy the world in the future, it is also necessary to find ways to improve her physique. Even if it only has the physique of the level of the American team, it is also enough to support her to use her powers as she wishes. Fang Bing felt that he was now facing Sky. It's a bit of a play-up game. Step by step, take her to become stronger together. In fact, Fang Bing didn't really expect her to fight for herself in the future. I just want her to have enough power to protect herself in this world. Don't just jump out of a little stream later. The hooligans can kidnap her. At that time, she will have to cry and call herself to save her. And Sky now has superpowers. It means that she eats food of her own manufacture every time she eats it in the future. There is a 1% chance of pumping her shockwave power. This is also a stable way to obtain flight capabilities. The next few days, Fang Bing began to teach Sky the meditation method. By the way, he instructed her to familiarize herself with her shockwave powers. Sky as the heroine who can live for 7 seasons. Sure enough, he was gifted, also with a talent for magic. Soon learned to meditate. It's the same as Fang Bing guessed. As she practiced meditation, with the gradual improvement of mental power, Sky is also becoming more and more proficient in mastering the power of shockwaves. This made Fang Bing even guess that the effect of cultivating spiritual power might be much more than that. Perhaps it will be even more useful in the future. It's just that now he and Sky have only been practicing for a few days, and some effects have not yet been revealed. Fang Bing, I've been practicing this meditation for several days. When can I learn magic? Magic like a portal. Sky's meditation was only taught by Fang Bing, instead of directly obtaining the meditation level of an ancient mage like Fang Bing. So the meditation effect did not feel particularly comfortable like Fang Bing. It's a bit boring, so I held on for a few days, and I couldn't stand it anymore. This is also the bottleneck for ordinary people to start practicing spells. But Fang Bing didn't have any good solutions. The faint spell energy in Sky's body now. It is impossible to cast any spells at all, so you can only draw a flatbread for her. Tell her to keep going, and when she reaches the standard, she can learn. And so it went on for another 3 days. Sky was basically able to control the shockwave energy. At the very least, it won't inadvertently create an earthquake. Fang Bing took Sky back home in New York City, the day after they just returned. Aunt May also took little Peter home from a trip outside. Several people had a lively reunion dinner. Then Fang Bing received his college acceptance letter. Columbia University Department of Medicine, located in Manhattan, New York City. Fang Bing was originally planning to take refuge in a remote university in another state, but since he got the system, he changed his mind. Instead, I enrolled in a top university in New York. At that time, I chose the Department of Medicine with the idea of this. Now that he has a system, he can no longer hold on. That will hurt sooner or later. If you become a doctor yourself, you don't have to put your life in the hands of others. Although now he has acquired healing powers, but I was not prepared to change to another department. Because now going to college has become an experiential life for him. It doesn't matter what kind of professional Fang Bing you learn. Anyway, after graduation, I don't plan to really go to work in the hospital 996. The holiday is still 1 month away. Just as Fang Bing thought that he could lie down without worry until school started, but an unexpected person came to the door. Hello, I'm Tor Stark. Seeing Iron Man coming, Fang Bing hurriedly walked out the door. Aunt May and little Peter haven't found out yet. Dragged him out of his house. No more walking. He was afraid that this goods would be in front of Aunt May and little Peter next. Let's say, long admired the magician. As soon as I saw Iron Man, Fang Bing knew that he must have known his true identity through S.H.I.E.L.D. I just can't figure out what happened to this nearly 40-year-old scientific and technological genius coming to him. He himself has no ill feelings towards Iron Man. After going out, I took him directly to a nearby bar. What are you looking for me for? Nick. Didn't Fury tell you that S.H.I.E.L.D. can't disturb my life without special circumstances? After the two were seated, Fang Bing took a sip of beer and asked, are you old enough to drink? Not 21 years old, right? Iron Man looked at the young magician in front of him. The first sentence turned out to be the same question as the US team before. Fang Bing glanced at him speechlessly. Are you superheroes so nosy? After some, Fang Bing only learned what Iron Man personally ran to the door for. The matter of the Iron Overlord. I still owe you a favor. In order to repay this favor, you can make a request to me. Engaging in Iron Man for half a day is actually to return favors to the door? But why is he so anxious to return favors? Fang Bing remembered that Iron Man would not have done such a thing. Unless he already knows that his life is not long in coming? Episode 47. So, you're here to give Stark Industries to me this time? After guessing why he was in a hurry to repay the favor, Fang Bing couldn't help but ridicule. Iron Man was embarrassed for a moment. Although he thought that he was about to die of palladium poisoning. I want to pay off the favor I owe before I die, but that time owed Fang Bing's favor. Apparently, it is not worth giving up Stark Industries, worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Besides, Stark Industries is not his alone. But when Iron Man saw Fang's smiling expression, he said, I also knew that Fang Bing was joking, so he took the initiative to put forward a condition. Friend, how about I give you a set of the latest MK Warframe? Fang Bing shook his head. He didn't kill the Iron Overlord before to help Iron Man. I never expected Iron Man to repay him. But since people know so well, they have to return favors when they catch up with the door. He could only grudgingly accept it. But he didn't feel that Iron Man could come up with anything of value now. Money? It is not a problem at all for Fang Bing now. Iron Man's tech warframe? The version is still too low. For Fang Bing, it didn't do much. However, in the future, Iron Man's black technology level has improved. I might need his help. And if Sky has not been able to strengthen his physique in the future, instead, you can get a set of warframes with cushioning for Sky. It can also alleviate the side effects of Sky shockwave energy. As for now, Iron Man, the half-plane son of the Marvel Universe, it's really useless to yourself for the time being. However, Fang Bing suddenly thought, now there is a chance to make Iron Man owe himself a second favor. Iron Man thought he was going to die. It was because he was previously kidnapped by the 10 Commandments gang to Afghanistan, plunged into the heart by bomb shrapnel. That's why the arc reactor was installed on the chest. The arc reactor has two functions. One is to power the steel armor. One is to suck the shrapnel in Iron Man's body. With the arc reactor, Iron Man saved his life. And he didn't expect it at the time. The toxicity of palladium in the arc reactor will penetrate into the body. So after discovering this in these 2 days, he knew he was dead. Take out the arc reactor. Shrapnel will enter the body, he will die. Continue to wear the arc reactor. He would also die of palladium poisoning. So this seems to be an unsolvable problem for Iron Man now. And he feels dead. But as a child of half a plane, he hasn't saved the Earth a few times. How can he die so quickly? Fang Bing knew. Wait 2 days, Nick. Fury is in Iron Man's despair. He will be told how to save his life, thus reaping a big favor from Iron Man. But since Fang Bing already knew the future development, Iron Man took the initiative to send himself in front of him again. How could it be possible to let the bald chief get his wish? Wouldn't it be nice to let Iron Man owe himself another favor? After all, Iron Man's black technology strength is notoriously hanging, and it will become more and more perverted over time. Maybe you will be able to use him sooner or later? Do you think you're dying? Fang Bing, who was sitting opposite Iron Man, suddenly asked. How do you know? Iron Man was stunned for a moment and asked. He didn't tell anyone about it. Even his confidant Little Pepper is still hiding. Oh, right. I almost forgot that this one on the other side was a magician. Maybe he will have some kind of magic, such as great prophecy? So maybe he can save himself? I'm dying. It's palladium poisoning. Can you save me? Iron Man looked at Fang Bing expectantly. He didn't want to die either. As a former playboy, know the best the beauty of living. There is a chance to continue living. How is it possible not to hold on tightly? If you can save my life, all my shares in Stark Industries can be given to you. Iron Man saw that Fang Bing was silent, and continued to try to ask. Fang Bing saw that the fire had arrived. Only then did he speak. I can save you, and I don't want your shares. You just need to remember that you owe me a big favor. Don't have a stake in Stark Industries. It's because Stark Industries doesn't really have much value, really useful for each other. It is Iron Man, a black technology genius, who can be called the son of the plane. Iron Man stood up with a rub. One grabbed Fang Bing's hand. Excited said, as long as I can continue to live, I owe you a life. What is it like to be in a desperate situation? Iron Man knows now. After he was excited, Fang Bing told him about his father Howard Stark. Inside the exposition map hides the message of a new element, and this new element is non-toxic. It can replace the palladium element inside his arc reactor. After Iron Man learned the news, soon by recalling the signs of the past, in his heart, he basically confirmed that what Fang Bing said should be true. He can't wait. After saying hello to Fang Bing, anxious, he was ready to leave to find the life-saving element. After all, he knew his time was running out. Walk quickly towards the outside of the bar. Before he could walk out of the bar, a strange man approached him. The man was topless and wearing only a simple set of exoskeleton armor, but he wielded a long electric whip in his hand. Walked towards Iron Man, who was not wearing armor. Look at this weirdo with an electric whip in front of you. He waved his hand towards himself. Iron Man hurriedly rolled over. Can escaped this fatal attack, but the tables and chairs in front of him had all been cut in two by this whip. Today Iron Man came to find Fang Bing by car. No armor is worn, because every time he uses the armor, he will get one step closer to death. Although I don't know about this weirdo in front of me, why kill yourself? But Iron Man knows. Without a battle armor, he can't deal with this strange man in front of him, and now only one person can save him. Help! Episode 48. Fang Bing had long since discovered the arrival of the whip. Whip's father worked with Iron Man's father to develop the original arc reactor, but then he was kicked out of the company because of his ambitions, depressed and died. So as a son's Whip will want to kill Iron Man to avenge his father. Whiplash has the original arc reactor technology. That's why he was able to develop this rudimentary version of the exoskeleton armor on his body, and the electric whip in his hand. And Fang Bing did not intervene in advance to stop him from attacking Iron Man. It's because this product is not here to do its own. Something about his birds? Anyway, Iron Man won't die now. Probably not going to die, right? Fang Bing was a little uncertain, because he remembered that the original whip seemed to be attacking Iron Man at the racing track, but now the location has been changed to a bar. It seems that this little butterfly has had a certain impact on the development of this world. Magician. Help! Iron Man is not in a bar that is not spacious. Hiding several back and forth, several times narrowly survived. Speak again for help. Fang Bing found that he didn't seem to save Iron Man anymore. He really didn't seem to be able to hold on. After all, Iron Man could subdue the whip with his bare hands. It depends on the right time and place on the racing track. In this bar, but there is no such condition. Never mind. Let's save him again. After all, he owes himself a life that he hasn't paid back. Let him die now. Isn't it a big loss yourself? Standing in the crowd in the corner of the bar, Fang Bing's fingers quietly circled. A portal appeared on the ground at the foot of the whip. So, the whip fell into the portal, fell directly into the crater on the other side of the portal, because the simple exoskeleton he was wearing had no ability to fly at all. So there is not even a struggle. Fell directly into the tumbling magma. Ashes. Iron Man sees the whiplash dead. Only then did he lie on the ground and gasp for air. The feeling of escaping death came back to my mind, knowing that he owed Fang Bing another life. But anyway, there are more lice, and the head is not itchy. It doesn't make much difference if you owe a few lives. Twisted his head. It was found that Fang Bing had disappeared. Just drove away. Go find the life-saving new elements that Fang Bing told him. The other side, Fang Bing had already returned home. For the matter of destroying the whiplash, he has no psychological burden at all, because he knows, if it's just a whip uniform, hand it over to the police. That would soon be rescued by the people of Hammer Industries. Then there will be another mecha battle in New York. Fang Bing was too lazy to grind back and forth with him. If you can kill it, just kill it directly, so as not to fight again in New York later. Smashed the roof of his house. After the Iron Man came to the door, Fang Bing also felt that he had to move out. Besides, he's going to college. He is also 18 years old. There is no shortage of money. She has also been living with Aunt May, Peter Jr. It's always not very convenient. After all, he had too many things to let the two know. So I talked to Aunt May. Across the road a few hundred meters from home, bought a detached villa with courtyard. This distance is a few minutes walk if you want to eat together. And with Fang Bing's hearing, all movements within a few miles could not be concealed from him. Little Peter, they are at home if something happens. Fang Bing can also react. Sky also pestered Fang Bing for a room, returned the rented house next door, moved in together. Of course, Aunt May and little Peter were originally surprised. How could Fang Bing suddenly have so much money to buy a villa? Later, after Fang Bing told them about making money by speculating in stocks, there is no doubt. Instead, he was particularly proud of Fang Bing. After all, a child who is just 18 years old can earn money to buy a villa on his own. It's a great thing. Fang Bing. Will this be our own home from now on? Sky asked, rolling on the couch. Fang Bing pretended to be puzzled and deliberately asked, Huh? Aren't you a tenant? He also deliberately teased her with a strained face. Remember to pay the rent on the first of each month. Sky jumped angrily, began to laugh and play with Fang Bing without mercy. Played around for a while. Fang Bing remembered something serious. Before, because I had been living with Aunt May and little Peter, so it's not very convenient to do. When you first awakened your powers a few days ago, didn't you want to see my powers? Now it's time for you to see it. Fang Bing hugged Sky with a bad smile and said. Sky suddenly became curious. I had heard Fang Bing say that his ability was healing before. It's just that there are some side effects. Now Fang Bing can finally let her see. Hurriedly urged Fang Bing to demonstrate to him. Fang Bing picked up the dagger, pierced his own arm. Then start treating yourself with your abilities. That particular side effect came again. But because of these few nights, Fang Bing had treated himself countless times, has improved its own tolerance. And before this treatment, I prepared myself in advance, in order to forcibly endure the completion of treatment. Ah, what amazing healing powers, but what are the side effects you are talking about? Why didn't I find out? Sky asked with some curiosity after watching Fang Bing's demonstration. Fang Bing smiled wickedly. You will know if you try it first. After speaking, he handed the dagger to Sky. Let her cut a wound herself. Sky took the dagger. Look left and look right. I just don't dare to attack myself. Or forget it? It hurts to think about. Sky raised his head to look at Fang Bing and said with a pitiful look. Fang Bing was helpless, then solemnly said, if you just want to be an ordinary person, you can save this step, and I won't force you. Sky quickly shook his head. Be an ordinary person? So how can you always be with the man in front of you? Gritted his teeth, closing his eyes, and slashing at himself. Well, then she found herself holding the hand of the dagger, was stopped by Fang Bing. What for? You little fool, cut directly into the aorta? Episode 49, Stream. People, caught off guard after experiencing the side effects of a treatment for paranormal energy, Sky blushed, scolded Fang Bing and ran into the room. No matter how it is shouted, it does not come out. Until the evening I was hungry, only then covered his face and came out looking for food. But no matter what, she was not willing to experience Fang Bing's special training again. Fang Bing could only give up temporarily, wait a while for her to slow down. Late at night a few days later, Fang Bing opened the portal again and jumped into the ocean, and this time he has an extra biodetector on his wrist. Iron Man has already found new elements 2 days ago, lifted his poisoning crisis. He ran to the door again and invited Fang Bing to have a meal. During this period, he asked Fang Bing again if there was anything he needed to help with, so Fang Bing thought of the biological detector, the one he now wears on his wrist. All organisms within a 3-kilometer radius can be detected. Automatically compare with the database after detection. Directly tell Fang Bing what each creature is, in what direction. The most important thing is, can also be used underwater. Although this thing was only made by Iron Man in a day's time, but there is simply no such powerful biodetector on the market. Fang Bing had also been to the sea many times before. Look for some special sea creatures like lighthouse jellyfish. It's just that the sea is too vast. Aimlessly trying to find, it's too difficult. Now there is this biodetector, although it can only detect 3 kilometers, but compared to before, efficiency is already a rocket improvement. Fang Bing swam aimlessly at the bottom of the sea. Now he doesn't have to go through the trouble of searching inch by inch with his eyes. He had put dozens of creatures he wanted to find. The biodetector was entered directly. As long as it is in the sea, target creatures were detected. It will vibrate to remind Fang Bing, so he can play and look for it. Tonight's 2-hour tour can't be found. Come back next time. Sooner or later, you can find uncommon sea creatures with special abilities. Although he knew, maybe go to Iron Man and ask for a set of underwater mobile armor. It may be faster than swimming around like this, but trapped in the armor, compared to taking a dip in the sea in person, it's 2 completely different experiences. Fang Bing didn't have any bitter enemies to overcome, so there's no need to rush too much. Experiencing life is all that matters. Drip. 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 More than an hour later, Fang Bing was lying on the back of a large sea turtle. Roam with it under the sea. The biodetector on his wrist rang. Raise your hand and look. It turned out that the detector found a group of box jellyfish 800 meters away. This jellyfish is one of the special sea creatures that Fang Bing is looking for. Fang Bing quickly got up, swim in the direction indicated by the detector. Soon, Fang Bing saw the group of box jellyfish in front of him. It is drifting in the sea with ocean currents. This group of box jellyfish is scattered throughout an area of seawater. There are 7 or 8 in total. Each one is 30 or 40 centimeters tall and drags long tentacles. But Fang Bing found out the sea area where the box-type jellyfish in front of you is located, but there are no other marine creatures at all. Not a single fish. Occasionally some passing by without long eyes. It will also quickly stiffen and die and fall to the bottom of the sea. Fang Bing did not dare to swim any further, although he does not know much about box jellyfish, but he included the creature among the reasons for looking for the target. It's that they are highly toxic. Now that the target has been found, then it's time to feed. Fang Bing summoned the food generator. Then, stunned, what is this thing going on? Fang Bing's mind went blank, not knowing anything about this strange knowledge. Helplessly, he could only leave the sea again, pulling out his phone and starting to sharpen his gun. The main prey of box jellyfish is shrimp and small fish. Got it. This is simple. Fang Bing was originally worried that this thing would eat some strange things, but small fish and shrimp are too easy to do. Fang Bing began to control the food generator with his mind. Use small fish and shrimp as raw materials. Several lumps of food were made. Then he reopened the portal and returned to where he was just now. Forcefully throw the food near each box jellyfish and wait for them to eat. Sure enough, systematic cuisine. Even jellyfish can't resist. Fang Bing looked at the few twisting in the sea. Box jellyfish swimming firmly towards food. My heart blossomed. Box jellyfish. Neurotoxin LV7, which is one of the world's most poisonous animals, can release neurotoxins to kill humans in 30 seconds. Tentacles wrap around LV2. It has long tentacles that can entangle prey. Spawning LV5, it can reproduce by laying eggs. It has 24 eyes, enough to spot prey in any direction. Swimming LV1, its speed in the water can reach up to 4 km/h. Fang Bing found. The capabilities of these box jellyfish are not much. There are only a dozen of each. I couldn't help but look forward to the extraction ability even more, because the less capable the creature is, the better the chance that he will be able to draw the desired ability. Extract. Congratulations on getting the Eye Everywhere LV5. Congratulations on getting Neurotoxin LV7. Congratulations on getting the Spawning LV5. Congratulations on getting Neurotoxin LV7. A total of 3 neurotoxins LV7 were pumped out from 8 box jellyfish. Only 1 neurotoxin LV8 fused, but Fang Bing knew. He just needs to find one more group of box jellyfish. Another neurotoxin LV7 is pumped. You can successfully obtain a level 9 neurotoxin. That would be several times stronger than the toxins of the box jellyfish itself. Just right. He was just searching for problems on his phone on the sea. By the way, I looked at the living habits of box jellyfish. Know that they often drift with currents in the sea. And in front of you is an ocean current. So now, he just needs to follow this ocean current and keep looking. Episode 50. The Superpower of Box Jellyfish. Determined not to find Fang Bing, who does not sleep tonight. An hour later, finally found a small group of box jellyfish again. The number is only 3, though, but he still relies on his luck that has recently begun to recover. Again pump the neurotoxin LV7. Subsequently, the neurotoxin abilities he possessed fused and evolved again. Neurotoxin LV9, you have the ultimate poison, who you touch and who dies. There are almost no creatures more poisonous than you in nature. Fang Bing read the description of this ability. I feel a little trembling. Such a horrible poison. Fortunately, I have this ability. It is also immune to this toxin. Otherwise, the fun will be great. He began looking for targets on the ocean floor to test his newfound abilities. According to the biodetector, soon a shark was spotted not far ahead. Fang Bing chased after him, but before he could touch the shark, sharks have been contaminated with square ice and are highly toxic to the seawater. Straight up in the water. He's dead. Lying in a groove? Fang Bing was so frightened that he quickly tried to disable this ability. It's fine. What made him thankful was, when he disables the ability, he will not carry poison on his body at any time. Otherwise, wouldn't it become a huge source of toxicity? Regardless of anyone, whether it's family, lovers, or friends. Can't get close to yourself? Die next to you? Wouldn't that be a loner for the rest of your life? Okay, Fang Bing, who was startled, let out a long sigh of relief. The ability of neurotoxins is turned on again. Continue to start experimenting with capabilities. The consequence is, where he swam in the sea, all creatures are dead. Even if he leaves that sea, the seawater that had been contaminated with his toxins, still highly toxic, it became a small sea of poison, although powerful. But Fang Bing didn't feel practical, because such an attack range is too light. Always can't fight when. As soon as he appeared, regardless of the front and back, except for the death of yourself, he thought it might be too transmissive. So a portal was opened, back to the barren mountains and mountains before. Neurotoxins are turned on again, looking at the rabbit still bouncing alive a few meters away. Sure enough, neurotoxins do not spread through the air. He stepped forward and grabbed the rabbit, touched it. It turned out that the rabbit was still not dead, because its fur is insulated from the invasion of toxins. Until Fang Bing touched its mouth and nose with his fingers, the neurotoxin entered the rabbit's body, poisoned it instantly. Fang Bing did some other tests. In the end, I finally figured it out. Own this ability. It is to turn him into a poisonous person himself. This highly toxic can only be transmitted through liquids, blood, saliva. It can only be effective if it enters the organism, spread so violently in the sea. It is because all living things in the sea depend on the seawater to survive. But there are restrictions on how to poison it. The toxicity is really strong enough to explode. So far, Fang Bing has not found any creature that can last more than a second. It's basically instantaneous death. Fang Bing was very satisfied with this effect. Although in theory, the stronger the physique, the stronger the resistance to toxins. But there are probably few people on Earth right now. Be completely immune to this toxin on your own. Open the portal and go home. The ability to disable neurotoxins, and repeatedly alert yourself in your heart. Never accidentally turn on this ability at home. Otherwise, I can only go to the Hand Association. Extorted a Kiel secret medicine to revive Sky, who was poisoned by himself. At the same time, in a beverage factory in a Brazilian pork kiln, an ordinary worker at work accidentally broke my finger. A drop of blood flows from the finger. It happened to fall into a bottle of beverage that was being sealed. After the worker found out, it seems to be very nervous, hurriedly ran to find the bottle of drink that had been mixed into the production line. In the end, it was fruitless. 3 days later, night, Fang Bing was meditating in bed. After mastering meditation, sleep is not necessary. Meditation rests better than sleep. It can continue to get stronger. And Sky's meditation is not yet proficient. There is no such effect yet, so at the moment is sleeping. Fang Bing suddenly heard a roar that began to shake the ground a few blocks away. Hulk. He realized it was the Hulk and Abomination that were going to fight. But that's too close to your own home, right? It shouldn't be. Hulk versus Abomination doesn't happen to Luke. Is Cage in the Black community? How did it come to Queens? But he couldn't think that much anymore, because he heard the hatred getting closer and closer to his block. It runs wildly through the streets. Fly off cars on the side of the road. Pedestrians on the road ran around in fright. The injured man wailed in pain. There are also some unlucky eggs who don't have time to dodge. Directly thrown to the ground and thrown to the ground, the flesh and blood were shattered. Sky was also awakened. Since she awakened the shockwave power, it is especially sensitive to vibration. Although the abomination is still a few blocks away, but its body weighs several tons. With every step, you will step on rubble and jump. Woke up Sky. Fang Bing. Fang Bing. It's not good, something happened. There's a monster getting closer and closer to our house. Sky was wearing suspender pajamas, ran into Fang Bing's room and said in horror, "Don't be afraid, it'll be fine." Fang Bing hugged Sky and comforted. Ahem, what a fragrance is really big and white. I didn't expect this girl to develop so well, but I feel that monster is really terrible. How about we call Aunt May and them to hide? Sky looked up in Fang Bing's arms and said. She suddenly woke up in her sleep and was a little frightened. She felt it through the shaking of the ground caused by her abomination. That monster that is getting closer. It has unrivaled power. According to her current shockwave power, it may not be impressive at all.